Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I am good. So I want everyone to welcome Brandi Miles to the Here Responsibly Wellness Wednesdays conversations. Just to kind of preface the conversation before we jump into the questions, Here Responsibly is a statewide initiative that we have been working on to try to obviously expand our program, but also just make it a little bit more personable and going into communities just to provide that education that current patients need, that aspiring patients need. And I think you can attest there's a lot of rumors and things about the program that's not factual. So we want these conversations to be with folks who are in the program, who have specialized areas, so that we can kind of dispel some of those things and allow people to make their own decisions on whether they want to learn more about it or to join the program.
Right, right, most definitely. And thank you so much for inviting me to do this. I love this. Thank you.
You're welcome. So the first question I'll just start off is, can you share your personal experience with access and medical cannabis and your state as a veteran, like the work that you do for veterans?
Okay, so I'm Coach Brandi Miles. I am a certified life coach, internationally a life coach, and I am a certified peer support here in the state of Mississippi. And I'm also, a veteran advocate for, for veterans and for, just helping veterans see what's possible in this world. What I do right now is I'm a life coach for veterans. So I have a nonprofit for Veteransville. It's called Veteransville, and it's helping veterans transition out of the military mindset so they can live their purpose after they've served their country. And then I also have my business Veterans Unleashed, and that's where life coach veterans, and we do retreats. And that's where I mainly do a lot of my cannabis advocacy is through Veterans Unleashed. And so we're just out here. I do a lot of things in the peer support world. We're helping veterans. Peer support world is helping veterans with recovery and mental health. We focus in that. And I also life coach veterans. I help veterans live their dreams. Whatever they want to do in this world, let's go. And that's what I'm here for.
I love that. So, because obviously you're very hands-on with that specialized community. So, what are some things? Let's talk about some things that you've heard, some misconceptions that are out there. We know the medical cannabis program has been available in Mississippi, for 2 years, and so I know there's a lot of groups that want to make sure that we include these folks and give them the information that they need because let's be honest, most of the qualifying conditions, appeal to them. So, what are some misconceptions that you've heard that you feel like, okay, people who are interested, but they feel like they can't join for one way or the other?
Well, I think with a lot of the veterans, it's the stigma around cannabis. We've been taught in the military, that the legal things are, alcohol and pills and things like that, and just the stigma here in the South and stuff, particularly around cannabis. And so I think for a lot of veterans, it's hard for them to explain to their family members that they want to go to cannabis and that they want to try something all natural because it's such a stigma here in in Mississippi. And so I think they feel a lot of shame whenever they decide they want to do something like this and go out of the norm of the community and stuff. So it's just about taking away that stigma around cannabis. And, so I also, whenever I connect with a lot of veterans that want to transition off of all those pills and onto cannabis. And it's a long journey for it. For me, it was a very long journey. It was a 2 year span that I was on 7 different meds. And I got a psychiatrist, an awesome psychiatrist that helped me through the journey, a 2 year journey of transitioning off all those meds. And so, it's about getting the stigma out, and also, I let veterans know you don't tell all your friends and family what pills you take and things like that. So why in the world should you have to tell them, that you're taking cannabis, that you're using cannabis as your medical use?
Yeah, that's a good point. I never thought about it like that because I know veterans and just everyday folks, moms, right? We're part of our campaign is also helping to create those resources to help people to have that dialogue and talk with their family members. But that's a good point. when I go to CVS and pick up a prescription, I don't get on a FaceTime with everyone
No.
in my family and say, "Hey guys, look at what I just purchased." So let's talk about benefits with veterans and benefits. So I know some of the things that I've heard, veterans feel like they won't be able to receive their benefits, or they'll pretty much have some consequences for being in a program. Is that true? Is it a case by case basis? How does that work?
They're not going to get their benefits taken away. I've been at the VA here and the VA in Jackson and stuff. You won't get any of your benefits taken away. And honestly, here on the coast, they're more receptive to the cannabis. I guess, I don't really understand that perspective. I guess, it's a different world down here on the coast, I feel like. But I have had a lot of cases where the VA has, if they find cannabis in their system, they'll cold turkey them off of all of their meds, like all of their painkillers and stuff. And so that's one of the biggest things is that I'm trying to fight with the VA is like giving these veterans an opportunity to transition off of all of the pills and onto cannabis takes a process and takes a little bit of time. And also being able to understand what strain you're supposed to be, intaking and things like that. So it's a journey with anybody transition and figuring out what you got to take. And also it's a transition coming off of all of those meds onto cannabis. You got to experiment with it. And some of the times the veterans are not able to come off some of the medicine. There's some medicines that they will never be able to come off of, but we can experiment with the ones that they can. As far as benefits, none of your benefits will ever be taken away whatsoever in the military for you smoking cannabis. Maybe your pain pills, but not your benefits.
Well, I'm glad you stated that. So in talking with you, what you're saying, basically you have physicians who would just cold turkey take them off of their other pills or their medicines. Do you think that's the conversations we need to be having? Do you think the VA understands the use of medical cannabis? Would that take us, partnering those folks with physicians who certify so that they can truly understand? Or is that just kind of a military thing?
But no, I really would love to, and that's one of the reasons why I would love to come on board with y'all for the veterans perspective, because I need a nonprofit that I can have that backbone to go to the VA and ask these questions and educate and talk about these things because this world is changing. We're changing right now and we got to evolve, but we got to be in the fight to evolve.
Right, absolutely. So you mentioned in a few questions earlier about just your own journey. And I know obviously we can't make medical claims and say, hey, this happened for you, so it'll 100% happen to everyone. But can you kind of talk about your journey, just your own journey from having to take all of those pills to how you got to, consuming medical cannabis, and how has it positively impacted your life?
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a great question. Thank you for asking. But okay, so I was discharged out of the military in 2014, and it was just after I came back from a mental facility for 45 days, and so I was pretty much lost, and so I spiraled out of control for four years. Alcohol, pills, all the meds I was taking, trying to figure out, none of them would never work because once one got started, I had to figure out the other one. So it was constantly all of the side effects that I was experiencing. I could never get it right. And honestly, I went into a dark, dark place. And I finally started coming out of it when I started life coaching school in 2019. I got a full scholarship to a life coaching school. They contacted me and offered me a full scholarship. But at that point in time, I knew that I was tired of taking all these pills and trying to fight all of the side effects and stuff. And my daughter was like, Mom, why don't you try cannabis? Because I had never tried it before because in the military, it was a no-go. You don't even mess with that stuff. Don't talk about it, and so and my daughter was 26 years old. So she came to me and she's like, Mom, why don't you try it? And I was like, okay, and so I started trying it at first and And what a lot of people have to understand is when you first start trying it, like I would just, hit it just a little bit and it would last me all day. So it takes a while for you to build up your tolerance.
Yeah.
And also I was able to learn that the different strands, you're not even really able to really feel and understand those until you start building up your tolerance for the cannabis. But I started the journey and I got me a psychiatrist and started the journey of transitioning off all my meds. So it took a 2 year span for that to happen. And it was experimenting with my medicine. I had to lower it, higher it. But as I was getting off of it, I was starting to understand the cannabis. I was starting to understand the terpenes and the CBD and the THC. And I really started understanding it because was able to feel the difference in all of it.
Right.
And so I went on this journey and now, and even I'm such a productive person. They try to say that when you're on cannabis, I built a business, I've built a nonprofit for veterans. I've changed my whole life completely. As of last week, I've lost 101 pounds in the last 4 years of transitioning on off all of that stuff and just really focusing on my mind, my body, and and becoming the best version of myself. And I believe that cannabis and life coaching was a big part in me transitioning to where I am today.
I love that. So if we had two audiences, right, who are listening to us. So one person who is a veteran who's very unsure, still feels like things are sketchy, what advice would you give them for starting today? Like if they're still unsure about the program, but they're interested, like what advice would you give to that group of folks?
Well, honestly, the first part of it is start educating yourself. There's a lot of stuff that people don't understand and don't know about the cannabis world. And that's what we're here for. We're here to educate you and bring you to awareness. And also, getting you a guide in that transition. It's not easy transitioning off all those pills. It's not easy transitioning to cannabis when you really don't know anything about it or don't understand it. So constantly educating yourself and bringing you around those people that will accept you, because judgment will keep you from wanting to explore and experiment with things. So surround yourself with people that's on the same journey as you.
Okay, now our second group is people who, let's say you have a veteran who is already in the program. So you talk a lot about, how you learned about the cannabis, the science about the cannabis, and just how it related to your body. And, it's a new program. So we have a ton of people, veteran or not, who go into the dispensaries and they just may choose something because it's popular. Somebody put it on Facebook or they think, oh, it has high THC, so automatically it's going to work for me. But they haven't really found their groove, right? So, what advice would
Right.
you give to that person so that they can see the true healing power of cannabis?
What I have done, and for other veterans or anybody out there, is find you a dispensary where they are educated. I've been going to, and I send my veterans to dispensaries that have nurses, that have people that are in education, so they can really help them understand what's really going on with their body and what kind of cannabis that they really need, because that's what's happening with a lot of people is they're going in there just getting whatever or getting a high THC, and then it's blowing their mind or whatever, and they're not wanting to do it, and it scares them instead of, you have to go down to a lower one when you're starting to be able to understand it and stuff. And it's scaring them at first because they're getting those high THC instead of getting the product that they really need. So, and I love being able to go talk to the nurses. I've just recently, all my trauma, PTSD, and everything started coming back up again because me and my husband separated in January, and so I realized that all of my trauma, anxiety was coming up. So I had to go back in there to my dispensary and talk to her, and really figure out. And I had to change all of my strands based off of my anxiety going higher and stuff. So it was great because I'm experimenting, trying to find the right one for me.
I love that. And it's almost like that. And I tell patients that all the time. It's kind of like a self-discovery. Everybody is different. I love those journals and the little templates and hey, just a notebook of like, this is what I purchased. This is the dosage. This is what's working for me because it is.
It really works.
Yeah, it really,
It
really,
really does work if you really learn what you're putting in your body.
yeah. So that kind of brought, you kind of answered it a little bit. So my next question was, can you discuss the process? So for anybody who comes to you and they want to work with your organization or even just to hear Responsibly campaign and say, okay, I'm a veteran. Now what? What do I do? I'm here. I want to get into the program. What should I do?
Well, at first, it's about really helping them understand themselves, while they're going through this process. This is not no easy journey because this is a self-discovery in yourself. I really feel like cannabis helps you open up your mind to a lot of things that you didn't understand and stuff before. So it's just a process of coming back every day, discussing like how it's making you feel, and just really talking about you as an individual and what it's doing for you. It's just a journey of us coming back because it's not easy sometimes because it's scary transitioning and changing. And so it's always awesome to have a guy that's already been through it before and that knows, what you're going through.
Yeah, absolutely. And not just, choosing some random physician just because you saw they had a $50 off sale, right? Because especially
Right.
someone who needs more of like what you all provide of just that consultation, that one-on-one listening to the patient.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like for those who are really skeptical about the program, that's what they kind of need, not just to start the process. I mean, obviously, we have a ton of resources that can show them and kind of hold their hands as they walk through the certifying process. But like you're saying, it's a little bit more that goes into it beforehand if you have
Yes.
it out.
Yep.
One other question I would say, just from you being the voice of veterans, especially on the coast in your community, what are some of the challenges that maybe the state level or even just us as a campaign can do to kind of support veterans more in the cannabis community?
Well, I think it's about of all of us coming together. It's all about all of us in the cannabis community coming together to support each other because we're not in a fight with each other. We're in a fight with the state. So it's about all of us coming together to make a difference in this community, and we just got to rally behind each other and support each other because we still have a long journey ahead of us.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really excited about working with different, organizations such as yours to kind of grow and expand. And just as we've been doing this work and going into the communities and talking with people, it's so interesting, just the things that they've heard that are so incorrect. So I feel like it's all of our duties, whatever role we play, to, just provide that information.
Yeah, I'm so excited about doing this. Just finally being able to get out of my own way and be able to help veterans in any way possible, just in life in general. But this is a big piece of it. It's all natural healing, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, absolutely. So, last question. We're talking to veterans. This is our audience. So, what support systems or what places or physicians or even just your organization, if they just want to learn more about medical cannabis and just how it could potentially help them, where should they go?
Well, Veteransville, they don't let me play in the cannabis world because of the fact of we got a lot of grants that we're fixing to pull out there to pull in peer supports because I'm developing the first manual for veteran peer supports for the state of Mississippi. So the real work that I do for cannabis ends in the Veterans Unleashed, and I'm just out there. I get out there and do drives with Bees Buds dispensary and Blue Lotus Creations. We do drives all over the place. I go out there to dispensaries and talk to veterans and connect with them. My information is always out there. Everybody knows that they can call me anytime. I got a long journey to go, but that's the reason why I wanted to connect with you and grow with you in this because I know this is a lane that I could help in.
Yeah, absolutely. And so for those folks that are watching, I will place Brandi's information in the show notes. And again, that's what the Heal Responsibly campaign is about. Obviously, I'm not from the coast. And so just like other places in Mississippi, I'm not from Sunflower County or DeSoto. So it's really important to us with the Heal Responsibly campaign to partner with community advocates who are already there. The community already trusts you. Like you said, you're already doing the work because there's a camaraderie there that
Yep.
necessarily won't be there for somebody who's just from the outside. So I'm really excited to be partnering with you, and there's more to come.
Yes, I'm really excited. Like, let's go. Like, we're here. We're all like-minded people. We're ready to do this. We're ready to be world changers. So let's do it together.
Yes. Well, thank you for coming on. I'm really excited. And again, we'll post Brandy's information in the show notes. And also, you can follow us on Instagram or Facebook at Heal Responsibly. Our website is healresponsibly.org. And so we'll be posting more events and you'll see all the things that we're doing and you can be a part of it.
Thank you again for letting me be a part of this. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Peace out.
Bye.